Hi, I'm Nick,
I'm Lawrence.
and welcome to the Nick and Lawrence Show. And we're glad you're here. We're very thankful for our viewers. And this episode, we're going to be talking about things we're thankful for and a few other things as we were at the Thanksgiving holiday. But we wanted to start off first by just saying real quick that we're in California, and for those who have probably heard, there's a lot of really bad fires happening in our area, and specifically where we're at, there's a fire that was called the Camp Fire in Butte County, and it really devastated the town of Paradise and the surrounding areas. So we just wanted to real quick take a moment to say that our thoughts and prayers are with everybody that is still recovering from that tragedy, and for everybody that's lost their home, their business, their lives, their family. We just our hearts go out to you, and we just wanted to real quick say thank you to all the first responders and the firefighters and the police officers and everybody helping, the volunteers. So thank you for everything that you've done in our area for the fires, as well as there's been some fires in the Southern California area also. And we're thankful for the people who've helped out in those times. You want to say anything?
Yeah, just really grateful that we've had a lot of support around here, and we hope when you see this video that you'll be able to help them. And the smoke has been going on for at least a couple of weeks while we're taping. We've had a lot of smoke in our area coming from about 70 miles from where we're at.
Right.
So
the air quality.
Air quality has been really bad. We've had to a lot of the people in our area have had to wear masks while we're on buses and schools and everything. So
it's been pretty bad. So we'll actually leave some links down in the description for ways that you can help if you want to help out. But on to our episode.
Yep.
So what we're going to talk about this episode is being thankful, and with a little twist here and there. So we want to hone in on our nostalgia theme, but first off, we are going to kind of cover just briefly two movies that we saw recently that came out for this holiday season, and then a movie that came out many years ago that's one of Lawrence's favorites around Thanksgiving also.
So grab some turkey, or if you've already had turkey, we'll see you after our theme song.
All right. See you soon. Welcome back, and we're happy you're here. So, Lawrence, I'm thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you.
Okay, thank you. So what are we going to talk about this episode?
Well, Nick and I had, with it being Thanksgiving, we kind of got comfy, went to a couple of pre-Christmas movies. I can't even get Christmas out of my mouth because I'm not used to Christmas coming early in November, but we went and saw a couple of Christmas movies. We saw Nutcracker in the Four Realms, and then we saw the Grinch, and those were some very, very interesting movies.
Yeah, they were. Well, I guess since Lawrence, you brought a couple little props from the Grinch. Let's talk about the Grinch first, because we just saw it.
We saw it before we got here.
Yeah.
So the Grinch, for anybody who doesn't know, the Grinch actually goes all the way back to 1957. It was actually either the second or third book, followed by The Cat in the Hat. And here's the How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This was the 50th anniversary from 11 years ago. Okay. 11 years ago.
So when did it come out originally?
1957.
57. Okay.
57. So it's just coming up on its 61st.
Wow.
Anniversary, which probably explains the Grinch that we just saw coming out now, and it was pretty much the same story.
Yeah.
I think every year the movies that they do come out with a little bit of a different storyline, but
so there's been 3 movies, right? Or
so
technically,
there
was the original in the 70s,
which is this one right here, and it came out at the same time as the book did.
Okay.
and had a lot of really cool.
Now, did it come out after? Because Dr. Seuss wrote the book before the movie, right?
Right, he wrote the book before the movie, so we're talking, probably, let's see, 57, go about a little over 10 years later.
Okay.
And it was done through Warner Brothers in the 70s. So he wrote the cartoon, and I think that the guy who created Bugs Bunny also helped Dr. So everything in the TV version was created by a guy by the name of Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris?
Chuck Jones.
Oh, Chuck Jones. Okay.
Chuck Jones, but who created Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and all that.
Got it. Which was also Warner Brothers, right?
Warner Brothers, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So pretty much in the same time pattern, 1940s to 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool. Well, that movie's a classic. It comes on every Christmas, and I'm sure most of our viewers have seen it. The one that some of our younger viewers are probably familiar with is the Jim Carrey version, so the live action, which came out
in 2000.
In 2000,
I was actually a year later. I had gone to Universal Studios, which we never mentioned in our Back to the Future video, but went to Universal Studios and actually saw a little piece of the Whoville set, which was not too impressive to see compared to the clock tower.
Oh, yeah.
But we went and did the back. Yeah. You can go and do the backlot tour at Universal Studios, and the newer Grinch is under the same thing as the Jim Carrey one was under Universal.
Illumination is the animation company that's animated this new Grinch movie, and you'll be familiar with them from the Despicable Me series. Yep. And the characters have a very similar animation to Despicable Me, and the storyline is definitely the Grinch, but it's a Dr. Seuss storyline. There's definite things in the movie that are from the book, but it's also a modern take on it in a sense. Like they have new music and
definitely added a couple of Christmas songs that are not in the original storyline. The thing that was really great about this was giving, the Grinch a whole new characteristic, because when Seuss wrote the book, he felt like what he was seeing, because, he said, I've got two characters that I can be. I can be the Cat in the Hat and I can be the Grinch. Mm-hmm. And he felt like he was the Grinch because in the time that the book came out, he was feeling like there was a whole lot of commercialism going on. And
so he was kind of a Grinch to the commercialization?
To the commercials. It was just, the 1950s was the golden age of television and a lot of things that,
Interesting.
And so he just, I think he saw things and wrote the Grinch book. I mean, this movie is not, but I like this take as well as I did the original book and the original TV show, including the Jim Carrey version. But this one gave it when I saw it for the second time, because I got to see this 2 times. It was really, I was like, oh, I really like the idea of the things, but I don't want to spoil it for people because there's,
No, we won't spoil it. We'll give you our kind of impression of it and just some hints here and there, but we definitely recommend going to see it. Yeah. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. Yeah. And
we'll say that there is one character who's the Mayor of Whoville, who is in a very popular Disney movie that we'll talk about later in this video. Okay. And that's well, maybe we'll save that.
No, let's tell him.
Okay. Angela Lansbury, if you remember Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Potts in Beauty and the Beast, is the Mayor of Whoville.
Yep, so she's in this movie. And then, like you said, Benedict Cumberbatch, who's Doctor Strange and Sherlock Holmes. He is the Grinch, and I personally think he did a great job at the voice and the emotions that they bring to the Grinch throughout the movie, both, in his like badness and also in his kindness come through, and they have a nice little backstory and then the little girl in the movie. I'm not sure which one who the voice actor is, but
we had Cindy Lou Who,
and then her mom. But overall, not to give too much away, but the movie had a great storyline that was. It stayed true to the Grinch's story, but also it brought a modern kind of humor and modern music and modern fun. We think you'll like it. We definitely liked it.
Yeah.
Lauren saw it twice.
Yeah, I liked it. My nephew really liked it. There's a scene that I wish I could share, but like I said, we won't spoil. But my nephew had a fun thing of like, oh, this is how the Grinch gets dressed, but we won't give away how he gets dressed. You just have to see it for yourself. Maybe in a year maybe in a year from now we'll look back at the Grinch and talk about our favorite moments when everybody's had a chance to see it by the time it gets out on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover it when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray. But the last thing I want to mention about the Grinch, since we want to talk about Nutcracker also, is his little dog Max. Even in the other two movies and the book, Max is just a loyal, cute little dog, and one of my favorite characters in this new movie. So I think you'll enjoy it.
Here on the back.
So if you don't remember, Max is the Grinch's dog. He's also doubles as his reindeer when he goes into the town to steal all the Christmas from the Whoville. So that's the Grinch. Our initial impressions are A+.
Yep.
Yeah, we liked it. It had a great storyline. Great for all ages. No like real crude humor or anything. Definitely recommend it.
Yep.
Moving from the Grinch, we go to another land of fantasy. And
we go to Disney, and Disney presented a new movie, The Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
Yes. And so we both saw that. And the same with the Grinch. We want to give our thoughts on it and let you know kind of just an overview of what the movie was about and what we thought. And before I go into kind of my thoughts, what did you think about it?
It was really good. I felt like it had a little bit of an Alice in Wonderland take. It was like kind of
whimsical.
It was interesting. I saw a lot of mice, and I was like, "These are not Mickey Mouse."
Yeah.
I was like, "What's Disney doing? They're ruining the mice effect." I might have to go and I only saw it once, and I'll have to go and see if I can see it again. Maybe I'll have a different impression from it and stuff. It was definitely an interesting movie.
Yeah. Well, if you know the story of the Nutcracker, this is very similar. They keep to the central theme of the Nutcracker with Clara, and it kind of being a fantasy of her her adventure, I guess, with the Nutcracker Prince. But the history of the Nutcracker, which is why they had the mice, is the original story was about the main characters, Clara and the Nutcracker Prince and the Mouse King and the Sugar Plum Fairy. So if you've ever seen the Nutcracker Ballet, you'll be familiar with this movie. If you haven't seen the ballet, I definitely recommend seeing the ballet. It's very fun. It's a different story. It's essentially very similar to this Disney's version or Disney's kind of take on it, but the history of the Nutcracker is really interesting, and the music is iconic. Tchaikovsky wrote most of, I think all the music in the Nutcracker Ballet, and it came out of Russia, and I think it premiered in St. Petersburg in 1892, and so the Nutcracker, I think I remember reading somewhere that it actually wasn't popular. It didn't become popular until like years later, until it actually, I think it's Nutcracker. I'll have to go back and verify, but I was reading, and it didn't become popular until it came to America.
Right.
And it didn't really take off at first, but now it's a classic Christmas ballet that it actually shows here. They have a ballet.
Right.
They have a cast that does a ballet here in Sacramento, and the Nutcracker is. Just to give you an overview of the Nutcracker ballet story, it's Clara, and Drosselmeyer is her godfather, who's also a toy maker, and it's Christmas Eve. He gives her a toy. It's the Nutcracker Prince, and she falls asleep, or maybe it's real, but. It's supposed to be like her dreaming, and Nutcracker Prince comes to life. They travel through the these different lands in her dream, and it's set to music and dancing, and it's really elegant and very well done. And she goes to the different lands. She meets Sugar Plum Fairy, and they defeat the Mouse King, and they come back, and that's the ballet. It's a 2-part. There's a first act and then the intermission and the second act. So if you go see it in the theater, you're going to be there a little while. So get comfortable, but it's definitely worth it. Now the movie.
I think we did find out that when we were looking at the Nutcracker going into the movie was that we were looking at that Disney actually used a few of the Nutcrackers in the 1940 Fantasia.
Yeah.
And so we looked at that. Was like, and so that's kind of cool to see 1940 Disney has something, and now this new Disney movie.
Well, and apparently the music that was used in Fantasia from the Nutcracker, people really resonated with the Fantasia, and because they used the kind of Nutcracker music and some of the different themes in Fantasia, it made ballet more popular. One of the things that featuring the music in Fantasia did for the Nutcracker was it made ballet a little bit more popular at that time. This was like 1940s when Fantasia came out.
Right.
And so Walt Disney brought life back into the Nutcracker, at least at that time, for people. Right. And just kind of a fun fact that made the Nutcracker, kind of on top of people's minds and more popular was because of Walt Disney, in a sense. And now he's back he's not back. I mean, now
somebody has come back with,
so now Disney's come back with a new rendition of the Nutcracker,
right.
And it was good. I thought it was fun. It's a little different because it's called Nutcracker in the Four Realms. So it has the main characters. It has Clara. It has her godfather, and it's kind of set on Christmas Eve. And the Mouse King is in it, and it adds some new characters and a different kind of take on the story, which I thought was really well. It worked well for the movie. It added kind of like you were saying that Alice in Wonderland and whimsy, and there were 4 realms obviously in the movie that she traveled to, and
I even noticed some hidden Mickeys.
You did
on the keys of some of the toy soldiers.
Oh. Yeah, well, let us know if you go see it and you check that out. I'll have to watch it again. I didn't see any hidden Mickeys, but
you never know. I mean, with Disney and throughout their history, they've done hidden Mickeys, and we'll definitely in our next little segment as we're continuing our Thanksgiving thing, we'll touch on it a little bit.
Okay.
And another movie as we're. So yeah, I like the Nutcracker, and that was a good film, and so I think we both liked it. We'll have to check it out again. But moving on to another segment we wanted to do, because we're gonna wrap up fairly quickly. But 27 years ago, around Thanksgiving, one of my favorite. It wasn't a Thanksgiving movie, but it was one that I liked. Was Beauty and the Beast. Now I didn't see it until January of '92, but it did come out November 22nd of '91. Okay. And it was
but it was kind of a Christmas movie.
It was kind of a Christmas movie in a way.
Because in the movie there's
snow and winter. And
it's a winter.
And so, but I didn't see it until January of '92. So it stayed out in the theaters for a long time, and I finally asked my parents if we could get the VHS tape. Here's the VHS tape. We actually have a couple of pictures we're going to show you because we can't show you everything, but here's a picture of all of the stuff. I took this before we started, so you can see this picture of my collection of stuff. But,
that's cool.
So the thing is that came out in '91, then followed, and then it got such success that they did a Broadway musical. And here's a picture of me at that Broadway musical.
You're pretty fancy.
Fancy in my suit and stuff with the thing. So, but I did see that. That was 5 years ago. But then, and I guess we'll move 10 years out, and they did a platinum thing, so I actually got to go to. So 10 years out, they did IMAX, and they did the Platinum Edition thing. So this is the Platinum Edition thing, and had some really cool.
Yeah, I did see it in IMAX. Yeah,
IMAX,
that was actually
10 years out from the original movie. Well,
so that was like 2001.
2001.
Because I think it was 2001, early 2001. It might have been late 2000, like around Christmas time,
right,
when they did. Yeah, because I remember going to the IMAX and seeing it. Was it in 3D?
No. So
it was just on the big screen.
That's what I was going to say next. So these two are two totally different, but the same thing by the Diamond Edition. They came out 8 years ago, and this was when they did the 3D movie in the theaters, and then they finally put it on Blu-ray and DVD. They're pretty much the same, except one has a 3D and the other one doesn't. So
those are the Diamond Edition?
That's Diamond Edition.
Okay.
So we went from Platinum to Diamond within like 9 years. And then we get to the 25th anniversary that just came out recently that was part of the Walt Disney Classic Collection.
Yeah, I think I have that one.
Yeah, so... Yeah. And this one was the one that I thought was cool, was when this came out, I didn't know that Walt Disney had originally made plans for the Beauty and the Beast movie. So...
Oh, really?
So he actually had plans, wrote out a script and everything, and I'm really grateful that I like this movie and it's become a favorite of mine. That to know, Walt originally created, but he didn't know how to use them. Then by 91, he was able to. People in the Disney,
he created in his lifetime.
He created in his lifetime, but it didn't get filmed and put to the theaters. And then, of course, it brought the 2017 release live action Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah. Now, what'd you think of that one?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I really liked the story, and I was gonna.
They stayed pretty true, didn't they?
Right. So there's a picture that came with the Diamond Edition. We'll show you here, and that is it came with a really nice picture of the Beast and Belle. That is really cool. Also, cool. So merchandise-wise, you saw in that one picture, everything together. We have. I had two things that I brought. The other things I couldn't brought, but we'll show you a picture of them. But we have Cogsworth here, and then this was built at Build-A-Bear Workshop with a very fancy Beauty and the Beast logo on the bottom of the feet castle.
Wow. That's fun.
But we were talking about hidden Mickeys, and you have to look very carefully at Cogsworth. And if you can see, there's the hidden Mickey.
Is that a hidden Mickey?
That's a hidden Mickey. See the shape of Mickey Mouse and the ears? So Cogsworth actually had a hidden Mickey, and you can find this on a lot of stuff. And the picture that we were going to show you is this picture that I got from Disneyland and from the Broadway show. And that's the Beauty and the Beast mug that I have from there. And then next to it is the chip mug that I bought when Nick and I went to Disneyland. So
yeah, that's a cool mug. I like that one.
It's a cool mug, yeah.
Well, I'm thankful for all the knowledge that you have and all the different collectibles that you bring to our episode. Right. Unfortunately, I can be as thankful as I want, but I think I can't be thankful for more time.
Right.
So we're out of time this episode. Thank you for all that information and for being a great co-host. Yeah. And so we wanted to say thank you.
And co-host too.
Thank you. And thank you to our viewers. And we're going to wrap it up. Let you get back to your turkey and your pies and your stuffings. And I hope you have an enjoyable Thanksgiving. We both hope you have not too much food, but lots of food and lots of love. And go tell somebody what you're thankful for.
Yeah. May you all have a blessed and happy Thanksgiving. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. That's all the time we have for now. So I'm Nick.
I'm Lawrence, and we'll see you next time.
All right. See you later.